All right. Carnivore Soldier coming at you live from Austin, Texas. This is new for me, just starting the streaming first time. So you have to be patient as I learn how it works. Looks like we got some people standing by already in our channel, so that's cool. How y'all doing today? Today is just gonna be an open Q&A kind of deal. And if you have questions, check out that banner down there. Make sure you put question in all caps so I can see it easily because I don't have a huge channel, but I know that when comments are streaming by, it's easier to see when you have a question. I see Doug here. I see Bypass Carnivore. I see Jay Miller here. How's it going, sis? That's my sister. So I see Crypto Carnivore here. Cool. Some people I don't know, some people I do know. It's a good way to start. So anyway, just want to start the video out. And the first thing I really want to talk about, well, it is my first streaming, but I want to share a little slideshow I made and a couple of things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the hurricane. So we know it's just hit Florida. It's moving through as a tropical storm now in Georgia. And, just make sure your thoughts and prayers are with the people that, had losses or were injured, because I know it's affected a lot of people, including a lot of people in the carnivore community down there too. So a lot of property loss, a lot of injuries. Hopefully most of the people, I heard it sped through pretty quickly, and that limited damage. I myself have been through some big hurricanes and actually served in the National Guard doing hurricane response. So I kind of know how it works. And right now, there's a lot of people scrambling, trying to get back to their properties and everything. Just keep them in your prayers and thoughts. All right. Other to start with, so let's go ahead and we can open it up to questions and answers. Or let me just introduce myself first, since a lot of you guys might be new. So I'm Carnivore Soldier. My name's Larry, and I'm a retired Chief Warrant Officer from the Army and Army National Guard. I also served in the Navy, so got a little background. In the 1980s, I joined the Navy, served on fast attack nuclear submarines for 6 years, doing operations against the Soviets. That was really cool. Got out, never planned to go back in the military. Started my career, got into computers, did all this stuff. And then, of course, 9/11 happened, and then I went back in, and I went Army National Guard because I already had my civilian career going. I did do some active deployments as well, but I spent the majority of my time in the Army National Guard in California and in Texas. So that's my background. But I do have retirements over 20 years active, and my good friend Doug, who's in here, he's actually another submariner and another carnivore, which is great. He served on submarines about the same time I did, so we got a lot in common. He's also my neighbor. All right, so that's just a little bit of background with me. I've been on carnivore since March 22nd of this year, and I started out at carnivore at 280 pounds. I'm 6'3", so I'm pretty athletic, but at 280, I was definitely pushing. Right, I was swollen. We'll put it that way. Not swole. I was swollen. I was inflamed, and right now I'm sitting at 236 pounds. So it's a huge difference. 44 pounds off this frame. I feel 30 years younger. A lot of things have changed for me. You've probably heard the stories before, allergies going away, aches and pains going away, motivation, energy levels, all that stuff happened. So just want to share a couple things with you. If you guys have questions, please chime in with questions, but I'm going to go ahead and start a little slide deck here I got. And the first thing I want to talk about is my Carnivore Starter Kit. This is like my first ever entry into carnivore. I decided to make like a little meme packet that I could post up, because people are always asking on Facebook, like, how do you start carnivore? And the great thing about carnivore is you don't need an app on your phone. You don't need a device to blow in to measure your ketones like I've done in the past with keto. You don't have to buy special types of food. You can pretty much start with what you already have. You just have to whittle out the bad stuff to start. And you don't really need a whole lot of gear. Thanks, Janine. My sister just said she's proud. I appreciate it. So, you can start where you're at and then add to your kit as you go. Really, what you need is, beef, salt, and water is the basics, or BBBE, which is beef, butter, um, bacon, and eggs. You can do that. Basically, just animal-based diet. So you already have animal-based food, hopefully, in your house, and all you have to do is not eat the non-animal-based foods. You have to just identify what that is. But so the starter kit I had was just like bacon. I ate a lot of bacon when I started. I thought that was a good way to snack and get past my cravings eating bacon, because I did snack a lot when I started. Now, later on, you won't need to, and you won't even miss it, which is crazy. But when I started, that bacon tray, that was a microwave tray. I would microwave a whole pound of bacon, eat some while I was doing it, and throw the rest into a bag in the fridge. Bag bacon, right? Next thing I did is I had an old air fryer that I used to do for fries for my son and for myself. Um, but I ended up trying to use that as a air fryer, and I did some burger patties and stuff. It just wasn't that great. It was a cheapo basket, Walmart special. So I actually went out and bought a Kasori, which I really liked. And that, if you want to know the one I'm using, it's actually, there's a link on my webpage at carnivoresoldier.com, and it's an affiliate link, so it doesn't cost you anymore, but it does help a little bit support the channel. All my links are affiliate links, and they're all Amazon, so they're not like I'm not making money off it really, like a lot, but they're just referral links. So the Kasori air fryer, really happy with it. Super great quality. The only problem is the one I have only does 400 degrees, and when you want to do a ribeye, I saw Dante Fregno's video on how to do frozen ribeyes after I bought that one. So then I had to buy one that went to 500 degrees. So then I got the Power XL, and that one's in there too. Kasori does have one that's a similar format that goes to 500 or 450, but that one costs a lot more than the Power XL. It's like 150 bucks or something. The Power XL is about 90. So I recommend the Power XL, and I have that one. It's a clamshell type, works really good and great for doing ribeyes. But I have both, and I use them both for different things. I actually like using the Kasori for doing my pork belly bites. And if you've seen my video on there, I actually use it in that one. And when I do my ribeye, I actually do it in the clamshell. So I do use both of them. And I think the Kasori is just easier to clean. It is a little easier to clean, but the Power XL is fine. Next thing is the J. Crow's iodine. That's just, we're iodine deficient in our diet pretty much because a lot of the animals we eat aren't eating things from the soil that have iodine in it anymore. So you don't know if you're getting enough iodine. So Dr. Ken Berry talks about, supplementing with iodine. You can't overdo it. Now all you need is like 2 drops per day. So I end up putting a couple drops, and I put them in like a Topo Chico, or if you put them in a sparkling water, you don't taste it at all because the bubbles make the taste go away. So if you don't like the way iodine tastes, like I don't, then just drop them in a sparkling water, sparkling mineral water, because you're also getting minerals that way too. So I drink mineral water. This is called Liquid Death, and I don't make any money on this thing either, but they do have a link on it on Amazon. But Liquid Death is a great mineral water from the Alps, and it's really brilliant how they branded it, because now I've got my son and my nephew, and there's a bunch of gamers that are drinking this like it's an energy drink, and it's just water, which is fantastic, right? That's a really good deal. So tastes great too, by the way. So yeah, J. Crow's iodine, then Redmond salt. So I saw all these carnivores doing Redmond salt, and I had my pink Himalayan salt, and I just did the pink Himalayan salt till I ran out. Then I bought the Redmond. I can tell you, Redmond's better. I don't know what it has in it. It must be other minerals, but I just think it's better salt. And now I'm sold. I bought the first initial set with the shakers, and now I just buy refill bags and refill it. Meat. I mean, I buy a lot of red meat. I started out doing chicken and pork and beef, but I have gravitated away. Probably 90 to 100 days in, I gravitated away from all those other types of meat, and now I just do pretty much red meat. I ate 3 hamburger patties, I think, and they were wagyu hamburger patties. Are really good, very fatty, super great, and I'm not even hungry. So this is weird too. So in the beginning of your journeys, probably some of you probably saw my 30-day video. I just released it. My 60-day video is, day 31 to 60 is coming next. Um, the first 30 days, I was snacking nonstop. I was always hungry, and I just. But the good news about this is I would just eat whenever I got hungry, which is what you're supposed to do in this diet, right? This is the only way of eating, the only diet I've ever had where you're not hungry all the time. And you're kind of programmed because I used to think that okay, if I'm hungry, it means I'm losing weight. That's the way losing weight is supposed to feel, right? On this is a totally different paradigm, right? So now you just eat until you're satiated, and you eat whenever you're hungry. So those whenever you're hungry signals start going away, and that's the thing that's changed the most. I would eat all day long. I'd eat 3 meals plus like 5, 6 snacks. Just whether they were beef stick or bacon or slice of butter. That was my snacking. So I was still doing high fat, high protein, zero carb, and I still lost a ton of weight. So at first 30 days, I think I went from 280 to 250 or 260 somewhere like that. So yeah, about 260, 260, maybe 264. So I lost a lot of weight in that first month. Um, But yeah, then I slowly started transitioning. I started liking red meat more and eating more burgers, more steaks. Started loving making these steaks. So yeah, the red meat is there. The Kerrygold butter I have there now. The Kerrygold butter, that's just a brand. You don't have to do Kerrygold. I actually don't do Kerrygold all the time. It's grass fed. It's high. It's expensive though, so I just go get the cheap Land O'Lakes stuff, just full fat, full salt. Just make sure when you get butter, it doesn't have any seed oils mixed in with it, because a lot of times you get the whipped butter. That's a no go. That's pretty much going to be seed oils in there. Look at should just say butter. I mean that's what it's supposed to be. So 100% butter. They all have a little different flavors, so you can try different ones. Find the one you like that's affordable and dive in. The next thing was eggs. I ate a lot of eggs in the beginning. Now I've been on lion diet. So I'm on, what is it, day 167, I think it is. I forget. But on lion diet, I'm on 37, I think. So I don't do eggs right now. I do have eggs for my son stays with me. And I'm not missing them so much. I used to love them, eggs and bacon. Now, while I've been on Lion, I have quote unquote cheated, which is just, I mean, going down to normal carnivore. I've had like a breakfast with eggs and bacon once, uh, and not a big deal. So that's not really cheating because I'm still zero carb, right? I just incorporated some non-beef into my meal every now and then. I've had a couple of nibbles of bacon every now and then when I make bacon for my son. It's pretty irresistible when you smell that. That bacon is pretty dang good. But I would recommend, if I was working with someone and they were starting out from scratch and saying, "Hey, I want to do carnivore. What do I do?" Doing it all over myself again, I would have started knowing what I know now. I would have started Lion and say, "Hey, you can do Lion or relaxed Lion, where you're 90% beef, and then every now and then you allow yourself eggs and bacon or something." Staying away probably from dairy and alcohol. So dairy and alcohol are things I cut out of my diet too for Lion. I did drink up till I went Lion. I still lost a ton of weight. I went down from 280 to 250 in the first, I would say, first 80 days or 90 days. And so that was while I was still drinking alcohol and still eating dairy. I was eating cheese on my meats a lot of times. I tried to do dairy as a condiment, as Dr. Chafee recommends, not as a meal. I did have some hard cheeses that I snacked on every now and then. So when I was snacking, I did do some dairy, but mostly it was a condiment. It was sour cream as a dip, for like chicken fingers, which I'll have that recipe coming out pretty soon too. I'm gonna be releasing more recipes. If there's any videos that you guys want me to make, or you like the movie reviews, the recipes, the walk and talks, please drop a comment in there and let me know which ones you like best and what you want me to continue making. And I've got a lot of different ideas. Uh, so then, yeah, the last one there is bacon, right? So bacon's really great. Gotta love it. It basically got me through my cravings in the beginning, right? And now I still love bacon. I just don't eat it as much as I used to because, to be honest, I went from eating 3 meals a day and snacks to just 3 meals a day and a few snacks, and then to 2 meals a day and an occasional snack. And now I do 1 or 2 meals a day, and I am not hungry. It's crazy. It is what happens is your hunger signals on the standard American diet are broken, and by design. These guys, if you saw my French fry video today or yesterday, the McDonald's French fries have 19 ingredients in them. Those are designed to be addictive. That's the number one selling item they sell at McDonald's. So totally designed to be addictive. They're engineering your taste buds. Basically, they're breaking your hunger signal so you're always hungry, and that's by design because they want you to keep coming back and coming back. Snack, you deserve a snack. I mean, that's not an accident. These guys know what they're doing. These scientists look for something called a bliss point, right? And a bliss point is the perfect combination of sweetness and saltiness, right? So they add salt so they can add more sugar to make you more addicted, because the more sugar they can put in your food, the more addicting they can make it. In fact, if any of you remember back when they did the new Coke release, I don't know if you remember that. It's a long time ago. I'm pretty old. So when new Coke came out, the whole idea behind new Coke, what they did was they added a ton of salt to Coke and then added more sugar and more high fructose corn syrup, and they said, "Oh, this is the new flavor," right? That was the branding, but it was really trying to increase your sugar intake so you'd be even more addicted to it. They were really pushing the limits on it. So the only way they could add more sugar without making it too sweet was add salt. So they added a lot of that. So it's very interesting history and all that. So yeah, bacon was great. Bacon got me through it. So now, like I said, now I barely snack. If I do, I might. And like I said, I am lion diet, but I'm kind of relaxed. Like I do use a little butter every now and then on a steak, and I'll have a slice of bacon every now and then. Not daily. And no dairy, no alcohol. And so what happened was the reason I went lion was I hit 250, and then I evened out. I went to a plateau, right? At 250 for probably 40, 45 days, maybe probably 40 days. And now my body still kept changing because I kept going through belts. In fact, I got to the point where none of my belts fit anymore. And if any of you served in the military, we use rigging belts or web belts because they don't have holes. Because when you get out in the field in the military, it's pretty standard to lose a lot of weight, right? Because you're carrying all this gear that you're not used to. So you go from being in garrison out to the field, you're going to lose weight because you're going to be sweating all the time. um, oh, Janine's got a question. Yeah, I two air fryers. One goes to 500. Do you have links to both on your site? Yep, both are linked on my site. I'm going to drop my site, and my site is just carnivoresoldier.com. I think I got it spelled right. Yeah, carnivoresoldier.com is my site, so you guys can go there, and there's links to the exact ones I use. But anyway, so web belts, right? So I basically went through my belts and then had to buy a belt and then went through that one. Even though I was staying at 250 pounds, my waist kept getting smaller. My arms were getting bigger. I started putting muscle on, even though I wasn't really lifting. I wasn't like going to the gym. I didn't go to the gym at all. I didn't. I didn't go to the gym while I've been on this, and I've lost all this weight and put muscle on. So there's a lot of anabolic action in this meat diet. I'm telling you that our body's designed to be, lean and muscular, and this just does that. So anyway, so I had to break out my military web belt, my rigging belt, and I wear my rigging belt now because I can change it on the fly and daily as my waist keeps getting smaller, which it is. I think my waist started out at I was on 42s, and if you've been fat like I had a 42 waist pants, and I was like maxing them out, like it was like busting out. I have a picture of me before on Discord. If you guys go to the Discord server, I'll probably put it on the Facebook page too, where it's my shorts are super tight. Now those shorts I can't wear them anymore, so I had to get rid of much of my shorts. Right now I'm about a 37. I'm wearing 38s, but they're really loose, so I have to put a belt. I think I'm probably gonna. I think my body is probably going to normalize back to the way it was in college when I was playing sports, and I was about 225 to 230. Right now, I'm 236, right? So I'll probably lose 6 or 7 pounds and lean out a little more, which means I'm going to be down to probably around a 34 to a 35 waist, which is amazing. At 57 years old, um, I feel awesome. Oh, thanks for the thanks, Bypass. Yeah, Bypass Carnivore says she saw the video I did on diseases of civilization. That's actually the that was Dr. Chris Kenobi's video. I was just commenting on it, but it really, his video was an hour long. I kind of condensed it to the main picture of where the diseases of civilization came from, and they come from the what I call the four horsemen of the carnivore apocalypse, right? And the four horsemen are the four things they introduced to our diet from late 1800s to 1911. And before that time period, before 1911, heart attacks were not uh, weren't even they were unheard of basically. From heart disease anyway. I mean, heart attacks happen, but they're genetic or from syphilis. But before then, there was no um, heart disease, heart attack related heart attacks. Cancer was really low. Obesity was like 1% in the population, which that's laughable. I mean, you look now at the grocery store and it's like got to be 50%, got to be. So cancer and then diabetes, right? Type 2 diabetes didn't exist, right? That wasn't a thing. And now we have kids that are type 2 diabetes. It's crazy. When I grew up, that wasn't like that. And that was only in the 70s. In the 70s, before they came out with the food pyramid and all that stuff. Um, None of that even existed. Very few people. There was one or two fat kids in a class, in a large school class, not like everyone, right? So the four things they introduced to our diet that they use to make all of our processed foods, everything in the middle of the grocery store, right? Were sugar, right? That was the first thing they added. And then they added seed oils right after the Civil War, right? And that was cottonseed oil. And then they added milled wheat, right? Uh, Refined wheat. And then they added the trans fats and the polyunsaturated fats, right? So those four things make up basically. And if you look at the McDonald's fries video I did, it's a great video. They have all that stuff there. So that's totally a manufactured food. I've heard it said that we're the first animal in history to be able to make their own food, and unfortunately, we're also the first ones to eat it. So, and even on top of that, even worse is we feed that to our dogs, right? So I'm a dog guy. I've got a service dog, Duke, and you notice that everyone's dogs are sick. They're all fat. They all have arthritis. They all get cancer at a very high rate. Well, they're all eating a grain-based, manufactured food-based diet from a factory, just like we are. One thing you can do, and I did make a video on this. I switched my dog to a carnivore diet, and he's never been healthier. So is my neighbor Doug and my sister. So people are doing it, and their dogs are just totally healing, eating as nature intended, just like we are, right? Carnivore is nothing special. It's nothing magic. It's really just eating as your body is designed to be eating, right? So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Oh, good. Bypass watched the entire documentary. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. So the other thing I'm doing is I'm doing the movie reviews. So carnivore movie reviews. I've done two. I've done, and I'm about to do a third right now. I did that sugar film, which was really really good, and it tells part of the story. It's not the whole carnivore story. It focuses on sugar, which is very bad, but it misses out on the other things that are also in the foods they're eating. Right? It's not just the sugar; it's all the other, you know, trans fats and the wheat and all the other things that go into processed foods. And then there was the Perfect Human Diet, and that's a pretty good movie. It's not as entertaining. I'm just giving you a little recap here, but it was full of good information and a lot of good interviews. A lot of the same experts are in both those too, and they do talk about some different studies in those two movies that are very interesting that you can deep dive on. Right. The next one I'm doing is the fat documentary, and that has been like one of my favorites so far, and I can't wait to put that one out because these are what I'm doing is like saying, hey, if you've got family members, friends, or coworkers that are asking or objecting, just say, hey, go check this documentary out. This is kind of why I'm doing it. I watched this documentary, I listen to these doctors, and this is why I'm doing it. So it gives a little more credence. The fat documentary, and then there's the fat document. I'm not sure if it's Fat 2 documentary or Fat documentary 2, but there's two parts. I've only seen the first one, and I'm working up my video on that one. It's going to be a good one. it's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good stuff in that. When that one really deep dives into where we got our government RDA, recommended daily allowances of foods from, it's pretty amazing. They go through the commission that did that, and that was in the 70s. So, I grew up in the 60s and 70s as a kid eating whole foods and eating what we called the square meal, right? We didn't have a food pyramid where we're eating, all these 16 servings of grain and all that the ridiculous stuff that they introduced. Um, anyway, it talks about how ridiculous this is. So it's really good. All right. Hey, Battle. All right. Meat Fueled Living. What's up, Battle Buddy? Good to see you on here. Thank you. Yeah, if y'all haven't followed Meat Fueled Living, check her out, man. She's a retired soldier too. We're both disabled vets, and I can tell you what. If let me stop that movie review thing. If you have veterans or active duty members in your family or friend circle or law enforcement, turn them on to the carnivore diet. I can tell you personally, and I'm sure she can too, because I've seen some of her videos, that my mental health and my emotional well-being and my state of depression and everything that existed has completely transformed. And just not to get real super personal, but I've lost more friends in the military to suicide than I have to combat after 20-year career, and I'm sure it's not unique. And it's really sad. 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and I can't help but think that if they were eating a proper meal, that number wouldn't be 22. Maybe it's only going to be 21, maybe only 20, but I think it makes a difference, right? So I think that this is one of the tools that, before it would be like, if someone talked to me and said they were suicidal, I'd be, point them to a suicide hotline, and which I still would do, and trying to talk to them. But I feel like I have another tool in the bag now. It's like, yeah, beyond that, check this out. And I've already got some veterans on it, like my neighbor and some of the guys, and it is a game changer in how you handle stress. I mean, we all know that the standard American diet increases your stress levels. That's just a fact. It decreases your sleep quality and quantity, because a lot of people have sleep apnea, a lot of snoring goes away, a lot of things change physiologically. It increases your stress, increases your depression level. It does, and your anxiety. So anxiety is something that goes down too. And everyone has anxiety, but I think on the standard American diet, it's amplified. It doesn't help, I'll tell you that. What does help is this diet. So if you do have friends or family that are military or law enforcement, send them to Meat Fueled Living, send them my way, because we're vets and we can connect on different level, right? So and then maybe we can help them out, or at least they can at least they'll be informed, right? And that's the thing. That's all you can do is inform them. So they still have to make their own decisions, right? Which is fine. All right. Yep. Meat Fueled says her mental health has improved. I'll show that. Yep. And that's not unique, because I can tell you mine, my neighbor Doug, everyone that I've worked with. Let's see. I got a question here. What are some of the unexpected issues? Okay, I'm going to share this one. What are some of the unexpected issues that got resolved with carnivore? Been on line 8 months. Most surprising me is carpal tunnel. Yes, arthritis in my thumbs. Um, that so I was a signal soldier when I retired. So the funny thing is, I mean, yeah, I was a dragon soldier when I started. I was chemical. I did a lot of cool stuff in the field. When I retired, I was at division headquarters. I was at G6, which basically means I was a plans officer and a net ops chief, which basically means I was a PowerPoint commando. Okay, PowerPoint commando, nomad outdoor adventures. Hey, welcome, man. PowerPoint commando. So I was on the computer all the time. So I used my hand on that mouse all the time, and my left thumb got so arthritic that I had to buy a special mouse that would, well, I'll show you, that that goes up and down. So I use these special mouse so it doesn't hurt my thumb, because my thumb would just get inflamed so bad that I'd put ice on it and it would still wake me up in the middle of the night. I mean, that's legit. I don't know if that's carpal tunnel. It probably is. Doug, yeah, he's another veteran. His sleep and focus has improved immeasurably, right? So There you go. Doug's another veteran, right? And his mental clarity. I mean, everything's better about him. He just shared that today. He shared a picture. Hope you don't mind me. I'm not going to show it, but I hope you don't mind me sharing this. But he shared a picture with me today of him giving a presentation probably a year ago, and he's basically just lost all this weight. And he's like, "I'm so glad I found this." And that's the way I am. I feel like I wish I would have known this earlier. If I was active duty and known this, it would have been a game changer in my career. I think I would have healed faster. I would have been able to do more stuff physically. But I wish I would have found it earlier. I'm super happy and grateful I found it when I did though, because I got a long life ahead of me. So anyway, the things, yeah, the my thumb, things that I didn't expect. Um, Sinuses and allergies. We're in Austin, Texas here, y'all. This is like one of the worst allergy places I've ever lived in. I've lived a lot of bad places. And I've been Fort Rucker, I've been Fort Gordon, I've been to Fort Leonard Wood, Lost in the Woods, and that was probably one of the worst. And I've always had bad allergies in these places, uh, but they're gone. I just woke up one day and stopped taking my allergy pill and didn't even remember to, because I never had to think about taking my allergy pill, because I'd wake up and I would be blowing my nose and running all the time. And uh, now I started waking up and I'd go straight to my office and didn't stop by the cabinet, which I always did every morning to get my allergy pill. And then after about a week of not taking my allergy pill, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a second. I didn't take an allergy pill. It was just an epiphany, like, wow. And then I can I can breathe through both my nostrils. My nostril, one nostril is always closed down. And this doctor had me go in the shower and do a breathing exercise through one and then the other in the steam. That was my daily routine. She's like, that's how you're going to open those up. Well, now I can call BS on that. The way you open it up is you eat meat and you cut out all processed foods, and your sinuses will open up. I can breathe like way better than I did for the last decades. Okay, my breathing is perfect. So that's another thing that I didn't expect. My hair is getting a little darker on the top. It was going really gray, and now I still got the gray on the sides, and this didn't change. But my top of my head, I think the hair is a little thicker and grayer. Okay, question: do you eat a meal with only one thing on your plate? No variety in plate seems boring. Okay, so it seems boring, and I agree with you, because in the beginning I was all about the variety. Well, here's the deal. I talked about how your desires drop off, right? Well, in the beginning, there's no helping that. You're gonna want variety. So I have a recipe for carnivore meatballs. So I would make meatballs as a side or bacon as a side for a steak, and I would eat both. And I do that occasionally still. My son, when he comes over, I make him a ribeye or New York strip and a meatball, and he'll eat both, and that's fine. Little texture difference in your mouth, right? Um, oh, nice. Rich Co, Fort Rucker, Mother Rucker, right? Okay. So anyway, yeah, that's a great place to be out of. So yeah, so making variety in the beginning was kind of important to me, and I did chicken fried steak, where I basically used egg and pork panko and salt, and made a batter and fried steak. I did things like that in the beginning. There's a lot more prep. And so here's the thing. I mean, I used to really cook. I used to like do real chicken fried steak and I used to make whole meals, and like I would, whenever my son was coming over, I'd plan out meals for the whole weekend, right? All this stuff. And I go shopping in the grocery store and have this huge cart of things, because all the ingredients I need to buy, right? To make everything right. And you have to make sure that you have all the ingredients or you can't make the meal, right? Well, that's what's fantastic about this. My shopping has totally changed. So, to get back to your point, the variety. The variety was there in the beginning. After a while, I just got used to eating burgers or steak by themselves, and it's just something that happened. Your taste buds change, your hunger signals. They're very nuanced, and you have to learn. You have to relearn your hunger signals. Okay, you are going to relearn your hunger signals, and then you start changing the way you think about eating. So the way I used to think about eating was, it's an event, it's entertainment. We're going out to eat. I'm making this so everyone can enjoy it, right? Now I look at eating as a biological function, no different than going to the bathroom. I mean, completely. It's just something I want to get out of the way so I can do something more interesting, like make a video, or like watch a show, or read a book, or go on a hike. So, all right, we got, oh, my son joined me, Colton Allhands. Hello. Colton just joined me, and he's a carnivore too by choice. And how's it going, Colton? Good to see you on here. Guardian joined. Don't have weight problems. Started on my second week. All right. I want to get back to here's Guardian. Second week for other benefits mentioned. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, see how it goes. Stay on it. You got to give it 4 to 8 weeks for sure. But anyway, so getting back to my variety thing, I'm going to show my son here. There's my son, right? All right, Colton. So getting back to the variety thing. Yeah, you're going to change the way you look. And once you look at your eating as a biological function to get out of the way, just to do so you can go do other things, then it becomes something that, you know, uh, you don't have to have variety for because, I mean, you're just doing it to get food. And it's actually still enjoyable. Trust me, it's not enjoyable. It is enjoyable, but it's just a different vibe, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. And it can't be just me because I see all these guys who've done carnivore for a while. They all get there, right? And anyone chime in if you've done it for over 100 days or so, like me, and or 200 days, and you'll probably get to the same point where it's just it's like going to the bathroom. You're gonna do it, and then you're gonna get out of there and start doing something else. So it's kind of like a break in what you're doing, an activity break to go eat. I still do love getting a ribeye, when it's cooked, and I do some things, like I do my reverse seared smoked ribeye every now and then. I put a little variety like that, but overall, I don't find I need it anymore, and that's fine. That's really good. All right. So Janine says, my hormones suck, but this way of eating has really helped me shift into weight loss, which is important to me. Yes. I think, my weight loss has, and emotional health and all these things that changed have given me a new lease on life. I had really resigned before March, before I saw Fragno Freedom's video. I had really resigned to just getting old and thought, well, this is the way it goes. Your body breaks down, and I was kind of rough on my body when I was younger. So this is just the way it's going to be. And I'm just going to have to accept it and do the best I can, and slowly watch my body just start falling apart, right? Which it has been over the last 10 years or so. But now the reversal has been so radical and so fast that it's just give me a whole new lease and outlook on life. My future is completely different in my mind, and in actuality, my future will be different because of this. So that's the power of this, and that's why I talk about sharing with veterans, sharing with law enforcement guys, sharing with anyone that has mental health issues, if they're bipolar, schizophrenia. There's some great videos. In fact, I saw a video with Dr. Chafee interviewing. If you Google Dr. Chafee carnivore mental health, you'll see the expert. I forget his name, but he started. Basically, he was a mental health doctor. I don't know what kind he was, but his patient had bipolar, and his patient just said, "Hey," and he had a great patient doctor relationship. So his patient said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this low carb diet? I'd like to try it." And the doctor wasn't a dietitian, but he's like, "Well, sure, you can try that." So then he came back like 6 months later, like, "Hey, doc," and he had lost all his weight, and the doctor was astonished, like, "Oh my gosh, because he'd done carnivore or something." Like you would be if you saw me 6 months ago, and then 6 months from now, it'll be a completely different story. And the doctor's like, "Wow, that's crazy. You look great." And he said, "Guess what? My bipolar's gone." And the doctor was like, "What? That's impossible. You can't do that." So, anyway, the doctor actually looked into it and found out that a lot of this knowledge about treating seizures, treating mental health, and weight loss, this has been lost. It was all available in reports from like the turn of the last century, from 1900 to 1920. All this stuff had been documented. In fact, even Salisbury, the doctor who first started treating people with low carb, that's whose name they named the Salisbury steak. Now, don't go get a Salisbury steak because they're all filled with crap now. But back when they started, it was basically a hamburger steak, right? Salisbury came out and had a treatment protocol. So all these doctors came out and they learned. They didn't know all the hard science behind it, but I don't have to be a scientist to know what happened to my body, right? And anyone around me can see that too. So they actually did the studies with what limited science they had, but did identify what worked and what didn't. So this is information that's been around forever, relatively in our lifetime. And they just all got lost in like the 1950s, 1940s, and all since then. And now no one believes it, but it's all there. It's all still documented. All the studies are there. All the textbooks are there. Like Ken Berry, Dr. Berry definitely refers to those old studies and old textbooks all the time. They don't teach at med school. So you're probably going to get doctors that don't believe in this stuff, and that's okay. They don't have to believe in it. You can do what you know works, right? Listen. Your doctor may be an expert in medicine. You're an expert in your body, right? And that's the thing. You have to go in there armed with that. And when you see something work, believe it, right? Okay, got another question from Bypass. Cool live stream would be a group of veterans talking about carnivore. That would be cool. Drawing other vets could hear about this way. Now, I know Bypass. I follow her. Go ahead and just follow her. She's just starting out in her YouTube channel too. Her dad was an Army vet. I don't know if he retired, but I know he's an Army veteran. So she's really got a heart for supporting vets, by the way. So yeah, so all this knowledge has been around. So then that same doctor, right? He had that one bipolar patient and thought, wow. So he looked into it, and then he started recommending dietary changes for some of his patients. And lo and behold, people with schizophrenia went into complete remission. Now, he was talking about it, and I've never had it or had a family member with it, but some of you might have. Schizophrenia is pretty much, he said, that's the worst diagnosis I could ever give anyone because there's no treatment that's satisfactory. The medicines are horrible. They make people feel, I've seen shows where they talk about people going off their meds because they feel so bad, but then they get sick, right? So there's no real winning strategy if you're just doing meds for schizophrenia. So he's seen full remission, full recovery, schizophrenia through low carb. Now he's not a carnivore; he does low carb. He does like a ketovore type diet, which is still great. I mean, whole foods cut out all the crap, right? And it makes you wonder, how much of our homeless situation, how much of our veteran mental health crisis is caused by this diet of these four horsemen of the apocalypse, right? The sugar, the seed oil, the milled wheat, and the saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats. It's hard to say, but I'm sure it's accounting for quite a bit. All right, let's see what else we got. We advertising on social media. Okay, yeah, getting the word to vets is important. I really have a heart for that. Just because I know what it's done in my life, and other vets. Doug's one of them. I have some other vets. Kelly, he did it too, and across the board, it's been very positive, right? Not a negative report yet. So, all right. So that was the starter kit. Let's see how are we doing on time. We got about 18 minutes left. I'll probably go a little over if you guys want to stick around. Okay. The next one is the meat-based diet food pyramid. If any of you guys are new, this may be new to you, but this is a good slide that kind of shows you. You can obviously share this too. You can Google it, find it, and share this one. It's a great slide because it does show, what you believe in, what you're going to be eating, and what you're not going to be eating. So, the animal kingdom only. The top of the pyramid is your dairy. So a lot of people make a mistake starting out carnivore, and they think, oh, dairy, cool, I can eat cheese, and they just start eating cheese for snacks all the time. That's a big mistake, I believe. How do you make steaks in the air fryer? Okay, I actually have a video for that. And let me see if I can put that link in there real quick. So yeah, starting out with dairy is definitely hold on a second. Eating too much dairy is definitely a showstopper on this way of eating. And that will definitely, one of the things I think being on line diet, when I did lose that next 14 pounds, was cutting the dairy out and the alcohol, right? Because alcohol is sugar, basically. I wasn't drinking a lot, but I'd have probably 4 drinks a week. I drink bourbon, I don't drink beer or anything, bourbon and whiskey. I still have it. I probably will indulge from time to time, especially when I get with my veteran buddies and we want to smoke a cigar and have a drink. But I'm not doing it daily or on my own ever anymore. That's just not the way it is. But I think dairy being at the top of the pyramid means really focus in on using it as just a condiment. You should not be eating dairy by itself, right? And if you do eat dairy, make sure you look at the ingredients. A lot of the pre-shredded cheeses will have seed oils in them to keep them from clumping up. If you ever shred your own cheese and then put it in a bowl and put it in the fridge, it turns into like a ball, right? It gets, so they put seed oils in the pre-shredded cheese to keep them from clumping. And so I always it's super easy to shred your own cheese. Just get a shredder for like a couple bucks and then get a block of cheese. Make sure you look at the ingredients. It's just cheese and you're good to go. Okay, I'm going to look at my playlist here and get my recipe recipe playlist so I can drop this in there. Here it is, carnivore recipes. I'm going to drop my recipe playlist here. A couple of these, um, a couple of these it's got an air fryer recipe. It's all got a smoker recipe in there for you. So let's see. New full playlist. So yeah. What was I talking about? Let's see. Oh, GERD. Yeah, I see someone else said they had GERD, right? And that went away. So that's great. Um, yeah, my GERD actually went away too. So, and dairy can cause that too. So yeah, cutting back on your dairy is huge. And if you do get a stall, cut that out first. I mean, even if you don't go, if you don't go full lion diet, you can at least cut out dairy. That's easy to do, right? That's super easy. Okay, I'm dropping this in here now. This is the link for the air fryer, uh, the air fryer recipe I use, which is great. I mean, so you have to. So the air fryer recipe I use. Okay, I'm a single guy, so anyone who's single, but even if you're not single, if you have a family, this is a great opportunity to not have to do any meal prep. You throw the freezers. All I do, I throw the ribeyes. I get my ribeyes or T-bones, whatever I have. I put them in individual Ziploc bags and throw them in the freezer. Pull them out one at a time, frozen solid. Preheat the air fryer to 450 and throw it in there. Put some salt on it and throw it in there. By the time 23 minutes go by and you use the meat probe at the end, like the last 5-10 minutes, by the time that goes by, you have a medium rare, juicy steak that's crispy on the outside. It's perfect every time. There's no guessing. It's pretty awesome. So that's a great recipe. A lot of people like it. Cheese does slow down weight loss. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For a lot of people, especially not everyone, but I can tell you what. If looking at this food pyramid here, the food at the top of the pyramid is going to be the least nutritious food for you, basically, right? Dairy is going to be it's the lowest quality of fat kind of. It's got a lot more problems with your digestive system, especially certain people who are have reactions or allergies they don't even know they have, in their digestive tract to milks, because we're not really milk eaters. Then you go down, eggs are really high quality, but a lot of people have reactions to that too. So high quality, especially the egg yolk. The egg yolk is really high quality food. And then the non-ruminant animals, and a ruminant animal is simply an animal that has a multi-chambered stomach. Okay, and why do they have a multi-chambered stomach? Because it's going to digest highly fibrous foods, break it down into sugars and proteins that we can't digest, right? Because we have a carnivorous GI tract. They have a herbivorous GI tract. So their whole body is made to break down uh, grass and such, right? That we're not really meant to break down. We're not meant to eat kale or grass or anything. We just don't have that capability. Even gorillas who have a similar digestive tract, they have a big old cecum, right? We don't have that. We have the appendix, which is left over our cecum. We don't have that area for stuff to ferment in and break down. So, not that I'm a doctor or anything, but I can learn from watching. So the DJ, welcome. Hey, man. So anyway, yeah, a lot of people jumping in here. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with everyone even. So the ruminant animals, since they break down all the vegetables, they generate the highest quality protein for us to eat, right? The non-ruminant animals, if they're eating corn and plant-based diet, which they may not naturally eat, like chickens don't naturally, when they're out on the grass, they don't eat a plant-based based diet. They eat bugs primarily, right? They're a protein. They like to break down bugs, and most birds do. They will eat some grain and stuff because they're given it, but that's not what they're designed to eat. And same with pigs and such. They, pigs will eat anything, but anyway, the meat in the second tier there is just not high as quality for you. So think of it as you have to do more work on that meat, whereas the ruminant animals, their meat, they've already done all the work for you, so you don't have to. You can break that down and assimilate that fat right away. Boom, and it's just like magical fat pills for your body. Just like your body can just absorb it and use that stuff right away. The perfect building blocks, and also the linoleic acid, which is the omega-6. There's a lower concentration of omega-6 in ruminant animals. Then you go up from there, and there's higher concentrations in your chicken and your pork. And that some of that, if you watch Dr. Chris Kenobi's videos or the video I did about the poisons in your food, the omega-6 linoleic acid is one of the primary drivers of all of our diseases of civilization, right? So let's see. First species to make food and the first to eat it. Bad idea. Yep, that's right, Colton. Way to go, buddy. Interesting. Humans are the only species on Earth to cook, drink, and milk after being weaned. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think for kids, milk's great. I don't, I think since I've been on carnivore, I've had maybe a half a glass of milk once, and it wasn't raw. It was pasteurized and all that. It is full fat whole milk, but I don't miss it at all. I used to love milk, man. I was a milk guy. Listen, my thing, Oreo cookies and milk. Oh yeah, that was my thing. So definitely that kind of guy where I would eat that. Now I don't do that. So I don't miss it though. I really don't. It's hard to believe. And when I was brand new and people were telling me that, I'm like, yeah, right. Come on, dude. That's BS. I'll call BS on that, right? Because that's the way I was wired. But let me tell you, you've been on it long enough, you do lose all those cravings, and you don't even want it. It's like now, if I used to, even when I first started, I would take my son Colton when he was still before he went carnivore. I'd take him to Dairy Queen, and man, when I was going to Dairy Queen with him, we would both get ice cream, right? And that was the thing I wanted to do. But after I've been carnivore for like I think 90 days, he was still not yet. What's up, Eric Carnivore RN? Yeah, cream cheese, brown butter, beef. Yeah, that's good sauce. I've made that before. But I would always have to get an ice cream when I took him. Then when I was 90 days carnivore, it was so easy for me to drive into the drive-through and just get him an ice cream and not even want one. And that was like a little switch in my head going, wow, that's weird. I don't want that, because I did before. I always wanted it. Hooah! Yeah, way to go, Eric. Another Army vet here, and he can probably tell you, Eric, if you've had a change. We've been sharing about our mental health improvements and emotional improvements, along with physical improvements. I think from a veteran point of view, I mean, mental health is really important, and I know I've shared mine, and Meat Fueled Life shared hers. Doug, my former veteran neighbor, shared his. If you have anything to chime in on that, feel free, because I think it's just I try to encourage people to get your veterans and your law enforcement people driven towards carnivore. It's going to help them. It's not going to hurt if they decide to follow that path. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, so linoleic acid a little higher up here in your second tier. The king of all meats, the best meat you can eat is the ruminant meats, which are going to be multi-chamber stomachs. So it's going to be your deer, your venison, your lamb, cow. That's all good stuff. So yeah, we're 753. Nice. You see, good deal. How about wine? Is that bad for you? Yeah. Oh, Billy Boy, U.S. Navy. Right on, brother. Welcome, Billy Boy. I was actually Navy before I was Army. I was a machinist mate, second class nuke on a fast attack submarine I served from 84 to 90. So, yeah. Meat equals the best antidepressant and helps reduce anxiety. I agree with that. In my experience, and in a lot of people I've talked to, that's a true statement. So, all right, yeah, wine. So again, alcohol. That's the one of the things. Alcohol and butter and dairy. When I gave those up to go lion, I think that was the biggest factor in me losing that last 14 pounds I've lost. So just so you guys that joined later, I started at 280 March 22nd, and right now I'm at 236, so 44 pounds down. I dropped down to 250. I kind of hung out there for a while, but my body kept shaping. I kept putting on muscle, losing fat. My body's getting firmer. My belt kept cinching in, and then I decided, okay, I'm gonna do this lion diet thing, and that's been like 36, 37 days, and cutting out the alcohol and the dairy, I think, was the thing that just dropped me down 14 more pounds, like overnight, like over a couple of weeks, and increase my energy level. So, wow, we still got a lot of people here. 23, 24 people. This is not bad for our first streaming, huh? I'm not doing terrible, I guess. I was kind of nervous because, you got to push yourself, right? You gotta try new things. And I thought, well, never done this before. I remember doing my first video. If you look at my first video, my first videos were pretty stiff. That's an understatement. They were horrible. And I'm crafting. I'm honing my craft now, so I think I'm getting better. I'm getting my lighting, get my video, become more relaxed talking to a camera. So it's kind of interesting. I've done this before in the military when you know you're doing reports over video to a command area and stuff. Yeah, but this is different because I used to have all my troops around me or my guys. It's being in a room by yourself. Well, I do have Duke next to me, my dog, so I'm not completely alone. But it's a little different to be the only human in the building doing this. Just started carnivore 3 days ago. All right, Billy boy, here we go. Already feeling better. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs, small amount of cheese. Yes, use cheese sparingly as a condiment on a burger. Like I said, I use sour cream as a dip sometimes or to make a gravy. You know what makes a great gravy? You fry up some bacon and then throw some sour cream and salt in there with the bacon grease and whip it around when it's hot still. You take it off there, and that makes a great little gravy if you want to do some gravy. So carnivore sauces. So yeah, like I said, the only sauce I use is going to be pretty much the sour cream, and I dip chicken in it or different. That's what I did. But the majority of sauces have seed oils in them, have sugars, even the ones that say keto. So this is another thing. So I was keto for years, and at first I was killing it on keto, and then all these keto products started coming out. So I'm like, oh, look, I can get keto this and primal that, and look at these sauces and look at these, and they all had seed oil. So I put that weight back on, and still doing what I thought was keto, low carb, but adding all the seed oils back in, just it basically killed my diet. And then I got addicted again, right? Because I'm a food addict. So when I go down that road with Oreos and milk, man, I'm going all the way down that road, right? Or a bag of chips and dip. I'm eating that bag. I'm watching a football game. So the only way to beat that is by doing something like this, which is an elimination diet. It's not a reduction diet. Every other diet I've been on is reduction diet, reducing your carbs to this, reducing your meals. Intermittent fasting. I've done OMAD. I've done intermittent fasting. I've done alternate day fasting. I've done every one you can think of pretty much, and all of them failed after at least 100 days, probably. Keto is the longest I went, but then I introduced all the keto friendly foods, which is kind of sad that they can name things, they can call things keto that have sugars in them, and they do. Quest bars and all this stuff, they have sugars in them, hidden as dextrose or all these, but they're sugars, leave no question about it, and other seed oils and such, which are addicting. So they get you back on, and that's their plan, right? They don't want you to lose weight, because if you lose weight, you're not going to be buying their stuff anymore, right? They want you to be on their plan, and they want you as a lifetime subscriber, right? That's what they want. All these. So this is the only one that no one wants that. This is just you and your food and your cravings, and Oreos and heroin both come from a plant. That is 100%. I like that. Hey, and you know what? Listen, guys, I gotta tell you this too. Today is a celebration day for me. The channel's over 1,000 viewers now. It's well over 1,000. I started this channel. This channel had been around a while, but I never did anything with it. It wasn't carnivore. It was like I was doing crypto trading and stuff, and I never had any more than like 10, I think 10 or 12 subscribers. But on the 7th of this month, I felt like at this point I was, I had seen Fregno Freedom's video. Someone had watched it and referred it, and I saw it, and it changed my life. So then I told my neighbor, my brother, my sister, my friends, and they all started and have their lives changed too. Several of my friends, and then some of my friends reported back that they told other people and changed their lives. And I'm like, wow, what a ripple effect, right? It's an amazing thing. So I started the YouTube channel. I'm like, you know what? I've never done anything like this. I don't even know if I'll like it. Whatever. I'm just gonna give it a shot. So I went and did it because I thought, hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I got outside my comfort zone. I started a YouTube channel, and it just started taking off because I started sharing, even though my video was quality was terrible and everything. But I think I have, being a military guy, I have like a different perspective on this, and some people connected with that, and that's great because not everyone's going to connect with me, and that's totally fine. Some people are going to want to do Meat Fueled Life or Eric Carnivore RN. People in the healthcare, people are going to go to where they feel like they make a connection. So we need as many connection points out there as we can. So I made this, and I didn't understand. I didn't know. I had no idea if anyone even watch it. And now we're over 1,000. I mean, 35, 40,000 views. It's taken off. And my goal isn't to have a massive channel, right? My goal is to make a community where we can actually relate to each other and talk and then to connect with people. And my goal is, I call JT from was it Poco Moonshine Family? Yeah, he did my first interview and he called it Mission Carnivore, and I'm grabbing onto that because this is my mission carnivore. And my mission carnivore is to get this out to veterans and law enforcement people and anyone else that wants to connect, anyone that feels like they can connect with me. That's all I want to do. So I really appreciate you guys though showing up here and supporting the channel. I'm going to give you a challenge, and that is to get in the fight. And there's a couple ways you can get in the fight, right? I have a video where I talk about this. You can become a YouTube content creator. That's one way. A lot of people don't want to do it, don't have time to do it. I get it. That's cool. So if you can be a YouTube content creator, do it. If you can't, then I recommend, as part of your protocol, your daily protocol, you go and in the morning when you get up, start your day with carnivore by searching out YouTube content creators and play some of their videos and like them and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Find new YouTube content creators that are good. And if they have a good message and they're doing well, or even if they're just starting out and they don't, they aren't doing well, just go ahead and support them and encourage them. Give them an encouraging message because then you're getting in the fight. Because like I said before, someone did that for Dante Fregno, and his video got served up to me because someone else liked and subscribed and hit that bell, right? And I don't care if you do it with me or other people, just do it with carnivores because that's how we're going to get on this algorithm train and get all the message has to get out because the corporate sponsored and purchased mainstream media will not get this message out. It is against all the guys that fund them, pharmaceutical and food companies. They don't want this message to get out. Medical hospitals don't want this message. The big medical systems, MD Anderson, all these guys, they don't want this message to get out because they need a certain amount of people to be sick all the time, to be lifetime subscribers to their prescriptions, to their foods, and their services. It's a huge economy. So, and the government doesn't either because they're all getting kicked back by these companies. You don't think every politician has their hand in the pocket of a pharmaceutical, food, and media company. I mean, they just do. So, this is our way to get this message out, and you can be in the fight. But I challenge you, do it. Go out and find YouTubers and support them. And it's great just to watch a video because that's good for you too because you're gonna basically get your energy you need in the morning. You're going to start your day off thinking about carnivore. And like one of the things I do, I still do it daily, is I go to my Google Calendar and I click on the calendar day and I type in day whatever, day 161, 162, carnivore. Just so that's like a little switch in my head. Okay, today I'm doing carnivore. Then I go watch a couple videos to get my carnivore message going, right? To my groove. And sometimes I'll do messages, from like again, Dante Fregno or one of these doctors like Canberra because I want to educate myself too. Because that's the other thing you want to do is educate yourself. So not only going to be educating yourself, but you're also going to be growing the community, supporting the community, and increasing your knowledge and getting that positive message in your mind of what the day is going to be for you. So that when you do run into challenges, you can fall back on that because you already kind of set your mind, made that fertile ground. But what Colton say? That's a cool server for those who don't know what Discord. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Colton knows what Discord is. I got my son on. So we do have a Discord server, but we also have a, Facebook page, a Facebook group. I'm going to drop the Facebook group in here for anyone that wants to join the Facebook group. If you're more comfortable with that, great. Discord server is just more of a private thing. It's just a bunch of chat rooms where I drop in new videos and I drop in recipes. I'll be doing the same stuff in the Facebook page. So whatever you're more comfortable with, feel free to interact there. Colton's supposed to be in bed. That's funny. It is 8:05. It's not that late here. He doesn't have to go to bed. He's 14 or almost 14. Sorry, buddy. He's turning 14 next month. So it'll be his birthday pretty soon. Yeah, so we do have the Discord server too, though. So if for those of you like that, use that. Some will use both. That's fine. I recommend you probably do both if you can, just to support the people that like those technologies. Right? I'm just trying to make it easy for everyone. So that's all I got tonight. I was going to go over this pyramid too, which is a resilience pyramid, but I'll go over that next time. And just so you guys know, resilience is getting up after you get knocked down. It's something in the military we talked a lot about. It's basically staying in the fight. That's what it is. It's staying in the fight, no matter what gets thrown at you. Right? Resilience isn't like being a boulder or a cliff that doesn't give. Right? Resilience is about being flexible, um, planning, and like I said, Dwight Eisenhower said that no plan survives initial contact with an enemy because the enemy gets a vote, and that's a fact. You plan everything out, and then life comes at you. Right? You go to a birthday party, you eat cake, whatever. Life comes at you. Resilience is okay. I fell. Now, what am I going to do about it? Right? Because you have that choice. And I really am a big believer in resilience. And I'll be talking about it in my next live show, which will be next Wednesday, I think. So also Tuesday, just so you guys know, I will be on let me bring this up. I will be on uh Backwoods Carnivore, and he's having me on his show at 7 p.m. on Tuesday night. So I'll be posting that link on my page too, so you guys be able to join if you want to see me get interviewed there. And I may have some other interviews coming up this week. Nothing confirmed yet, but some people are interested, so I might be joining some others for some interviews. So yeah. In the meantime, got any questions, drop them down in the comments down here. If you're watching this streamed or if you're watching it as a video later, I will try to get back to them as best I can. And I really enjoy your guys' support. Thanks a lot, guys. I want you all to stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier, out.